Hello again, Lou Hamilton from Audible Elegance in Cincinnati, Ohio, just a couple doors north of the Montgomery Inn. And please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have more subscribers, and take the time to cruise over to our website and the blogs that I write. I've got a fun one coming up very shortly. And we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have, in addition to Instagram. So check all those sources out, because we're putting out information every which way we can. Tonight I want to talk about a nightmare. And I was a victim of this nightmare. And if you're someone who has moved into a new house, which obviously a few years ago we did in Virginia, having come from Utah, you never quite know what Itchy and Scratchy has done to you. And it also talks about the need, particularly if you have control systems or you're streaming. You could have a streamer like a beautiful name one, or you could be streaming through your laptop. It really doesn't matter. The problem that could be lurking in your house and you never know it. And it's called your cable modem. And when we moved in, our option was to use Spectrum. It was really our only good option there. And we've been very happy with the Spectrum service. And about a week and a half ago, we started having, a few months, we started having these intermittent problems. And of course, we did the standard routine of unplugging it and plugging it back in and resetting it. And this became progressively more common and worse until finally we had no internet. So we called Spectrum service out. We had an absolutely delightful technician come out. And the first thing they did was to check the line feed and the line feed to the house. And one of the things they check for is to make sure that the proper amount of gain is being sent down the line. And too little can create all sorts of problems. Too much can actually harm the cable modem itself. And we were kind of on the upper side, but it was within spec that he would accept. And he installed a new cable modem for us, because they could see we were having a lot of problems. And one of the things that's happening with the cable network systems is that they are constantly improving and advancing what they can do with it, the speeds, all sorts of protocols. So if you have, we had a 3.5, 4-year-old cable modem. It was already at that point severely outdated. So that was affecting the quality of our service in and of itself. It was actually like acting like a brick wall in a way. But once he installed the new cable modem, he set about trying to test it. And it didn't work. So he knew he had a new cable modem. He also knew that the line feed to the house was fine. It was quality cable. They used RG6, and he had checked everything. He goes, I've got to go check the rest of the line. And where we live in Virginia, we can't have a basement because our water tables are like 3 feet down, so you're already drowning. So in the crawl space he went, and he was down there for about 20 minutes, and he came out and he said, I found some problems. And the prior owner of the house had a direct TV, or you might have a dish network system that the prior owner had used. And you have to understand that for a long time, the dish or direct TV installers, they got paid a flat fee per house, regardless of the degree of difficulty. And at one time it was as low as $35. So this guy's doing a lot of work for $35, which is why you don't see them too much anymore. I don't blame him. And what the DirecTV installer had done because they didn't use a quality cable like an RG6. They used, I think, an RG58 or 59 cable, which is much lighter for their own systems. And so what he decided to do was to save himself some time and trouble of running cable. And so he cut the cable service line, and he ended up putting that into a splitter. Now, splitters themselves have a range of performance, and they too have a range of capabilities. So a splitter that is 6, 7, 8 years old that you may have used for your television system, it's probably really screwing things up. And so he put it into a splitter, so you only had one cable going to the cable outlet. And again, he disrupted the use of the RG6, and he put his crap cable in. Not only of a much less substantial cable itself, but God knows the quality that he used anyway. And at the time we were running those sort of cables, we saw some real crap. Either the braids weren't complete or the quality of the wire was suspect in and of itself. But then that installer did one thing more. So to make his connection the way he wanted it, he literally spliced cables together, which means, in his case, he probably used a butt connector or stuff, and God knows, hopefully he didn't just twist the wires together. I got to go down and see this now. But the splicing itself degrades the quality of the signal path. So what happened over time is that between the splitter itself and the splice, these degraded over time and literally made even simple connection to the internet for looking at websites and stuff like that impossible. And so you can run into these problems in your home, and it's not always the provider who's delivering the service, but it may have been something that Itchy and Scratchy did years ago that either wasn't quality work in and of itself, which was definitely our case, but also that the equipment that they used to make those cable runs has simply become outdated by the demands of technology today. So if you have that problem and you call somebody like Spectrum, be really good. Have some bottled water there for them. I've been on projects where the homeowner wouldn't even let me use their bathroom, so I had to leave the house and go to McDonald's or something. Be very kind and gracious to them, because they're there to help you, to fix your problem, and really appreciate the time and effort that they take. And I've learned that Spectrum pays its people very well, so they have no encouragement to slough the job, like what the old poor guys at doing the Dish and the DirecTV network systems had. But watch out for the quality of your cable. Watch out for any connections that are in the signal path. So if you're having problems streaming, and we're getting more and more complex, it's not always the provider. It's not a problem on the pole. It's your house.